I was debating whether or not I should even do this video. Natsu, just like all the other fairy tale units, actually did receive a buff, if that's what you can call it. He got more durations whenever he didn't really need that. So hey, you know, let's just show you what didn't change with this character. His first passive here is BE output. His second passive is Dragon Slayer. This autofills his arc gauge by 3 and he will not flinch when he's above 70% or more HP. As for his final passive, this gives him 100% damage up when the enemy is burning, which is the biggest thing about his entire kit, but also I want to say the weakest thing about his entire kit, which we'll see in a second. As for his skill, it's just a damage up skill. As for his art, it's an attack up, plus it reduces the enemy's burn resist. And for his true art, this is a 100% chance to burn the enemy and 100% defense ignore for the entire team, which is pretty solid. In terms of his slots, we have 2 5-star physicals and a 4-star magic. And in terms of like what I would recommend for best in slot items, anything that's giving him attack ups, damage ups, or art gauge will be solid. As for the 4-star magic, pretty much the exact same ideology behind the 4-star magic as well. And as for the crest, attack up, POFG. There's also another crest. What is it called? It's from like one of the hard crest palaces. Let me see if I can find it. Here it is, Curse Frost. Also not a bad one either if you can manage to do this crest palace. So as for Natsu's entire game plan, this is what it sums up to be. If you're nuking, you pop your true art, you hope you burn, and you let everybody benefit from the defense ignore. If you're not nuking, you're going to be using your art whenever you need it for the 100% attack up, and then hopefully you burn with the true art so you can actually deal some damage. The main issue with Natsu is that he deals no damage if you do not burn. Another thing to mention too, in regards to his animation has a very long startup. With this true art right here, very long start before it even does the damage. He doesn't do damage until he does that little dash right there. And same thing with the art. The art's pretty fast though. Once he gets going, just a punch and that's it. As for the other stuff, it doesn't really matter too much, just a skill and then an attack and that's literally it. But yeah, nukes, like how we're about to show off right here, that startup really hurts him, man. It really sucks for him a lot of the time. And I don't know why they did this to Natsu. Like they really hold this man when it comes to giving him buffs or just designing him as a unit. As you see here, we pop everything, we get the burns off. And I mean, look, whenever you get the burns off, that looks like a lot of damage, right? Because it is. That is a lot of damage whenever you get the burns off. But if that burn wasn't there, Natsu literally would deal no damage at all, which I want to say is what happens a lot of the time when it comes to certain bosses that you fight. Like if Natsu's the main damage dealer and you're not able to get that burn off, it sucks, man. It's such a massive damage decrease. And as you see there, you know, 7.3 million from Natsu, definitely nothing to laugh about, right? Like if he gets the burn off, he's really good, but if he doesn't, man, he sucks. So let me show you what I mean. We're going to see if Natsu burns. If he doesn't, I'm going to say something I don't know if people would actually agree with, but I just don't see why this character doesn't have this if it's like that big of a deal. And look, like even though we did get the burn off, it was so slow, bro. But here's my ideology behind Natsu, right? And this is what I'll say to a lot of people. As you see there, freaking Forte dealt the most damage. If Natsu is a character that his whole idea, like his whole being is this guy who's all about fire, all about setting stuff ablaze, why not give him just a guaranteed burn? Would that be that detrimental to the game? Because to me, if it's so integral to the kit, why not just make it guaranteed? Because another thing to mention too is that the way how resistances and stuff like that work in GS is that even if he had a guaranteed burn, if a boss had high burn resist, the burn would go away instantaneously, so it really wouldn't make a difference. But it would at least make him good in like most generalized content in the game. For the most part, if you want to use him in pretty much any nuke team, you kind of can. 100% defense ignore is really good. Just give him art gauge, and even if he doesn't burn, he can probably nuke majority of stuff in the game. Just know though that if he doesn't get that burn off and you're wondering why your nuke failed, that's probably why. And I think like this is probably where he's the strongest at. I know some people will say like, oh yeah, you know, you can use him in sustain for his 100% defense ignore, which is true, but I would rather use a character like Daki at this point instead of like using someone like Natsu, because Daki at least provides like some heal slots and a support slot as well. And to mention though is that if there's ever characters that come out in the future that buff up a lot of different demon type of allies, that we've already seen it so far with like Dark Vox and JP, then maybe Natsu will see some resurgence, because there's not like that many demon characters that actually give the team 100% defense ignore. I don't think there is a single one apart from Natsu. So, you know, maybe that niche will definitely help him out later on in the future, but we'll just have to see how well, you know, that transitions. See, did we actually get the burn off right here? I highly doubt it. Even with the burn resist, like this is my problem with this character. Okay, there we go. We did get the burn off too, but this is my problem with Natsu is that against some bosses, that 50% burn resist down on the art doesn't even do anything. Like it's just kind of there. Like if it was like this in pretty much every single type of fight that you took Natsu up against, then I wouldn't have a problem with this character. The fact is that some bosses just have way too much burn resist and Natsu can't do anything against them. But as you see here, I mean, the 100% defense ignore is helping out the boy Emperor quite a bit. Let me give that to Natsu before he freaking dies. To be honest, Natsu might die because his health's so low. Okay, never mind. We're good. I think we are, right? Are you doing another blast? Or is she doing another blast? Hello? Oh yeah, she's doing another blast. Wow, she actually just did two back to back. That's like the only bad part about this boss fight I want to say is that whenever you get on the threshold and she's doing a true art, then she does another true art right after that. That just kills an entire run. Yeah, that was pretty good. He was able to burn like quite a bit, and he did really well as a defense ignore unit, and even as like another damage dealer, as you see right there. He was able to keep up with Emperor quite a bit. It just really rubs me the wrong way that they just made this character so just whatever in this game. I don't want to say he's bad. He just has that major issue of not being able to burn, and I think that his viability to a team is quite limited outside of the 100% defense ignore, because outside of that, he's just a regular all attacker, right? And I would say 9 times out of 10, I can be prioritizing 100% defense ignore unless you absolutely have to, just because crit rate is so much stronger. Either way though, that's gonna be it for this video. Thank you all for coming out, man. It's been your boy Pete. Tell me down below what you guys think about Natsu. You guys think he's good? You guys think he's bad? Highly recommend check out either one of the videos popping up on the screen right now. Great content, guarantee you love them. And oh yeah, one more thing. Don't forget to drink water.